coming to show the Australian people how the game is really played.
For the first time on Australian Survivor, they will be playing with a member of their own family.
Playing Survivor with your spouse is a very dangerous idea. But the good thing is if one of us wins, we both win.
As brothers playing in the game, we've got this bond that's unbreakable.
I love my sister so much, but out here, you're going to have to take out your loved one at some stage.
If she gets voted out, it's going to rip my heart in two. Australia's going to see the big man cry.
Survivor has always been an individual game, but this season, that's all about to change. All about to change. It's all about to change.
I have a secret weapon. My baby girl Nina, y'all better look out, because I taught her well.
Will blood prove to be thicker than water? Or will the deepest bonds be broken?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Survivor Now podcast. I am joined today by Abraham. Abraham, good morning. We haven't done like a morning podcast in a while.
I know, this is the first morning, so hey, let's get it started. This is fun.
Are you good and awake? Are you good to go?
I've been up for like 4 hours, so I'm good and awake.
I'm a mess. My room is what am I talking about? My room. I'm in Australia, but no, my room is a mess. So that's plan B. I'm drinking milk on a podcast. Like that's just not happening. That's how early it is here. And then also a quick announcement for you guys. I am going to have the honor of being a guest on the Speaking Llama podcast tonight. I believe it's coming out tomorrow morning. So I look forward to talking to Alex and Caleb and kind of taking a step back from the hosting duties a lot of times. Just get to sit back and listen and not come up with all these questions. Abraham,
Hey,
you're host.
like I like to do.
Abraham, you're hosting next time. I forgot to tell you, but
I'm hosting Survivor, man. Hey, it's just exciting. Survivor is never ending. We always doing Survivor stuff.
Especially with Australian Survivor. And the cast list continues to come out for season 42, which I know we're all looking forward to. So we're still planning that. I'm planning on doing something cool, like another cast assessment. And then maybe this time, because everyone else does it, so why not just jump on the train? Doing like a draft, like a fantasy draft.
It's funny is I'm biased because I'm like, there's season 42. Not to be better than season 41.
Oh, no.
That it is surreal to say, wait a minute, I was on season 41. So I'm biased that we had a better season. I haven't even seen that season yet. I'm biased.
I'll just say this. If you automatically have the better season, if they come out and say, drop the 4, keep the 2, I might lose my mind.
Yeah, no,
I might lose my mind. All right. Well, how was your Survivor week as a whole? We got a lot.
Great Survivor week. Great. I know Australia likes to pump out a lot of episodes, but we saw a lot of things change, a lot of dynamics, a lot of emotions, and they really packed it jam-packed. I saw Croc, and I was like, Croc, you're not doing a lot of the things I want you to do, but you're still
he's getting destroyed by Mark here in these challenges.
He's still holding on, but I was looking for a little more of the Croc. It's more like the crocodile.
Crocodile.
Let's see what's going on.
Well, if he's truly a croc, he's just lying in wait. He's waiting for the right moment to strike.
He's still my pick.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna keep going forward with him.
Well, we had a lot of stuff happen this week. I got to be honest with you guys. It is hard covering Australian Survivor because episode 7 happened for us would have been Sunday morning. So it was a long time ago. So I'm going to do my best based off the notes here. But basically, if you guys don't remember where we left off, Jay ended up going home. And then Nina, we start off, Nina feels great on the water tribe. She's confident. She feels in a very good position. And this is day 15. So while Nina's feeling great, Sandra is still scared of that day 16 curse that's taken her out the last 2 times she's played. And let's get right into it, Abraham. We don't need to talk about the rest of that beginning stuff. We get into our first tribe swap of the season, and a lot of stuff happened here. So before I get your opinion on this, the red tribe came out of Amy, David, Shay, Jordy, Mel, Nina, Sandra, Jordan, and Josh. So you have Jordan and Josh and Nina and Sandra as pairs. And then on the blue tribe, you got Michelle, Jesse, Con, Ben, Sam, Sophie, Chrissy, Croc, and KJ. So the two pairs we have there are Sophie and KJ and Chrissy and Croc. And then Mark doesn't draw a buff. And I think we all assumed that he was going to end up picking which tribe he ended up going to, which he did. So Abraham, tell me, what was your opinion? Is this too early for a tribe swap? Is this a perfect time in the season of blood versus water? What were you thinking?
In comparison, it's still a lot of players in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So to do a tribe swap this early, but with a theme blood versus water, I could see, well, okay, now we can kind of intermix some of the family members or the friends together, or the cousins or whatever together. So I like the timing of it because of the title of this season. Now, if it was a normal Survivor, I would say it was too early. It's just too many people.
Yeah. Doing it like
of the
15.
dynamics, and it didn't disappoint, because you got Mark sitting out there on an island by himself, and now he needs to make a strategic decision. Do I go with my wife, which I know is my number 2, but also got voted out as a power couple, or should I just play the other side and let her continue to play her game? Because we saw how KJ's game got all mixed up when her sister Sophie got joined in with the group. So to me, Mark made the best decision for his game. Now, when he gets back home in Australia, might be some problems.
I was saying, I'm happy you said it like that, because Mark is playing a phenomenal game.
Oh, yeah.
To everyone listening right now, I don't know if you fully appreciate, maybe it's just me again, man crushing over Mark over here, King Kong, as they like to call him, but he is playing physically very good in challenges. I think I wrote down at least 3 times, Mark is a beast at challenges, like no one can compete. And then his social game is so much better from the last time he played. And I was sitting there, and when he said, pick your tribe, I was sitting there and I was like, don't go with Sam. Don't do it. That's the worst thing. Because he had Nina on the other tribe too. Nina, from what I see, is, I don't know how close they actually are, especially once we get farther into episode 9. But I thought, that's your closest ally. Go with Nina over Sam. I think you both are in a spot you can make the merge. I really do. I know he doesn't know that, how good Sam's doing and stuff like that. But I said, don't go with Sam. Play your own game. And he made that decision. It was the perfect decision, Abraham, for his game.
I'm looking at Mark, and I think, I absolutely agree that Mark is playing a strategic game that he's looking to capitalize on once they make the merge. On the other hand, I think Sam's going to be voted out before the merge.
Oh, no, don't say no. You don't think she's in a good position?
Because here's the thing about it is, you voted out Sophie, KJ's sister.
Yeah.
Now you basically painted a target on your back as the manipulator of the tribe. So then you're saying, okay, who's next? If I was KJ, I'll start realigning myself to say, hey, if Sam came after my loved one, guess what? She can come after your loved one. So I would try to get Sam out of our tribe immediately on the next episode.
So you think KJ goes after Sam? Possibly.
I think that KJ is going to come in there and go after Sam.
Okay.
Now, Mark, on the other end, I don't see Nina as the daughter of the queen anymore. I see Nina as her own player, setting her own tone on how she wants to play and align herself with her own group. And we're going to see that as we move forward into the next episode, but we're not going to spoil that right now.
Yeah, we've got a lot to talk about Nina and princess or queen, however you want to refer to her now. Nina, which she made some great moves. So let's see. I said, yep. I wrote down we actually hear from Josh. We actually heard from Josh a lot this week. The twins are still, the twins are still kind of inexistent. A little bit. They're getting there.
If it wasn't for a couple of the challenges, the twins editing is the quietest editing of ever. You just really don't know what to expect from the twins. And even this time, when you get their editing, it's not to help the twins out. It's basically put them on the chopping block.
I wonder if they're doing that just because to keep it from getting like super confusing for people watching at home because they are twins. I wonder if they're just like, you know what, let's just avoid it altogether and not show them until one gets voted out.
They got two different names on two different tribes.
Yeah, we can figure it out.
Yeah, we can figure it out.
But we get to their first reward challenge immediately. I wrote it as boats and flags. So basically it's 2 boats that you guys have to, kind of, how do I explain this? Try to pull the other tribe the opposite way by rowing faster or harder, however you want to say it, than them, and then reach a flag. And they are playing for the Survivor hot dog cart. Sorry, Abraham. I know this is like nothing to do with Survivor. What's your go-to hot dog toppings?
Actually, just a plain hot dog.
Just regular ketchup?
Just a regular, just a regular hot dog, maybe ketchup and mustard. I'm a simple hot dog guy. Now, if I'm out at some fancy place, I'll get some bacon or whatever, because bacon has never gone wrong on any meal. But now just a regular hot dog. I still think it's too much food on this Survivor.
Way too much food? No, this is classic. This is classic Survivor, Abraham. Is this coming from someone who was on season 41 where it was all about like starving and stuff like this? Or
I mean, their food is exciting.
Yeah.
It's worth playing for. He said the hot dog court, and you got all these fixing on that. Our season and our rewards, it was like, yeah, we give you a French toast stick. Like,
one French toast.
I mean, they have exciting food. Even as we go through the different episodes now, you're going to hear exciting food where you want to go out there and compete. Now, when they get on those 2 different boats and they're pulling each other apart and you're trying to get to the flag on opposite ends, you're going to wish you had something to eat, because now it's just a matter of who has endurance.
Yeah. So we got some great moments here. I'm a chili dog guy myself. I used to be a plain. Yeah, I forgot about the chili. But basically, the key moments here, Sandra and Mark are already going head to head at each other. Mark is trying to be, with his military background, saying this is what we need to do. This is how we need to win this. And Sandra's kind of like, don't tell me what to do. Okay, I'm doing it. She keeps mentioning, I'm doing just fine. I'm doing just fine. Blue wins reward here. And I do want to ask you, this is really where nicknames are really starting to come into Survivor, Abraham, and they start calling Dave Juicy Dave. Are we for this, or are we against this?
You know what? It's just one of those dynamics that play itself into the game of Survivor. And here's the thing about it is you never see what's happening off camera. You only see what happens during the edits.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that came out somewhere in the tribe that's translated itself into the actual.
Jonathan found out about it. Yeah.
So it's like, because if you look at them, anytime the tribes ever come together, they're always whispering stuff to each other.
Every time, yes.
And it's, again, you got the loved ones and stuff, but they're asking information, like on Sophie. Hey, what do you think about Sophie? Well, if y'all can get rid of her, get rid of her. So it's just that passing of information is a lot different in the dynamics because you have loved ones now. So you can say stuff and you can get stuff passed on to them, but it's just wild.
I mean, there's a couple nicknames that start coming through here, but Blue wins reward. They win the hot dog cart. We go back, and obviously there's going to be a clue. That's what everybody thinks instantly. And there's a cool line here where it was Chrissy is sitting down and she goes to Croc later and says, see, being lazy actually helps you out here, or means something. She's just sitting down and she notices the clue underneath the hot dog cart. Let's see if there's anything else I missed here.
She made me nervous.
Did she? Chrissy made you nervous?
Because of how you saw the clue, you get the clue, now you're trying to get back to Croc and let Croc know you have the clue. Mm-hmm. But to me, she's a little too jittery. I mean, you got your loved one with you now. So you don't have to really hide, just slip him the clue, which they did. And let's go find and see, okay, what's going on? What's this clue? But it's different because you got a loved one on there. And she actually, to me, went back to the original Chrissy on day one. Not really knowing how to play the game, not coming off with a lot of confidence. It's like, now, Croc, you're the leader of our little team. So we'll see how that pans out.
Abraham, I need you to get a group of Survivor American, veterans and stuff who have played the game, and really sit down and tell people in Australian Survivor. I put this in all caps and exclamation marks. Can we stop telling people when we find an idol?
Look,
Can we
they're
like? It's
the
every
honest
single
tribe
time.
ever. They're the honest tribe ever. I'm like, look, Shan had a, she had a Shan. Shay has an idol. Croc said no, we're not telling anybody. So Croc was good about his. When it comes that time,
Yes.
he's going to stick to the actual.
But he was
Survivor.
told by Sandra. He's like, Sandra told me this. Don't tell anyone. So he still had to be kind of like everybody's idols in this game are public idols. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, are we playing Survivor or are we just playing, hey, let me share everything with you guys?
Well, if we step back and look at it, Shay has had an idol for 100 days now in the game of Survivor that nobody ever brings up. All you focus on is Khan. Khan has social skills. Khan has an idol. But you leave Shay out there in the dark in the whole conversation of idols when she has an idol. She had one for the last 15, well, we'll say the last 13 days. She's had an idol. So it's kind of interesting how they play idols in their game versus I wouldn't take too deep a look at 41 because we did have an idol kind of float through until the very end with Xander, but we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah. I just know one thing. If Abraham gets an idol, he is not sharing with the entire tribe.
Look, I'm telling nobody. So, matter of fact, I'm trying to get somebody to say my name so I can use the idol at an appropriate time.
That's how it's supposed to be used.
Nasir took his idol home with him because he didn't play it. So
does he still have it? Still have that idol?
I think he does. I don't think they got it from him.
It's a cool knick-knack. I mean, it'd be cooler to play it to save you, but it's a cool knick-knack. A souvenir.
Yeah. I think if he had hindsight 2020, he would have preferred to play it and got further in the game versus, hey, I'm going to Ponderosa with this idol in my pocket.
Oh yeah, no, that is definitely like a hard one to swallow. We're also getting a lot of Sam this episode, so I really want to. I was kind of scared because even though I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of Sam. I like Sam, I really do. She's a supporter of the podcast and the page, and thank you so much if you're listening. But I love Mark's game. I don't know how I feel about Sam's game right now. I know we talked about it a little earlier. But Sam, her game feels choppy. I just feel like she really doesn't have a good foothold in the game, Abraham.
Well, if you look at it, everybody loved one that got voted out, all seek revenge.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter how nice the Australians are with their survival, every one of them have seek revenge. Dave, when his daughter got voted out, he just went crazy for a little while. And Dave is still there, but he was like, I'm trying to get everybody. So we're going to look and see how KJ unfolds this and how that's going to impact Sam. Now, really, KJ is no threat to anyone right now. So for Sam to say, hey, you know what? We need to get KJ out when she was never a threat. Now, that's also going to say, Croc, are you going to honor your word to KJ when you said, hey, yeah, we're going to put your name down? He told her, hey, we're going to write your name down. But it's not to get you out of the game. So Croc, are you going to go back on your word and say, now it's time we lose. We're going to vote you out.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out.
I think bringing up Croc, I think we forgot to mention, we kind of touched base on it, but just so everybody knows, they did find an idol, and the idol was underwater, and they just had to kind of pull up this rope and pull it out, and Chrissy gave the idol to Croc. So Croc actually has it, but they're kind of using it to help each other out, get farther in the game, trying to make them merge, which is smart. And what we have here, while they're enjoying their hot dogs on the Blood Tribe or the Red Tribe, however you want to say it. I mean, Jonathan refuses to say Blood and Water, even though those are the names of the tribes. We get Jordy is keeping. Here's another person we see a lot of. I know we were both, Abraham, very big on the brothers coming into this game. And we are starting to see Jordy grow into a Survivor player. He's keeping his eye on Sandra. He says he thinks if they lose, Sandra is the one that needs to go home. Now we're on day 16. We are either we're on it at this point or we're coming up to day 16. Jordy says he's keeping his eye on Sandra, and this puts Nina in a tough decision. She says, do I really try to save my mom, or do I go with my majority alliance? Which do you think would have been, we know how this ends up, but which do you think would have been the smart move for Nina here? Did she make the right move? Because she's thinking about this all episode.
Look, for me, I'll be like, okay, you know your mother's going to go. You just don't know when she's going to go.
Yeah.
So, but you also know that you're going to be left behind when she goes. So you're not on the chopping block before her. So you got to say, okay, what's best for my game? I need to show them that I'm loyal to my little group, because moving forward, it's going to be really instrumental in having numbers when you go into the merge. You may not have your loved one because your loved one got voted out before, but we knew Sandra was going to eventually get voted out. We didn't know when or if she was going to make it to the end or the merge. But now that you know she's going, what's the best route to take? And I think Nina took the best position. Hey, we're going to vote. If you vote her out, don't tell me.
Yeah.
I don't even want to know that you're going to vote her out.
And she didn't take it to heart at all. Like, even
no,
when...
because she know you got to get voted out. So you didn't want to be, she's like, well, vote me out instead of my mom. She didn't say that.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like,
been...
just don't tell me. I understand. And if you go back and the way you look at it, they came back after that tribal and actually talked to Nina and said, hey, we did it. I understood how you wanted to be played out. But Nina also wrote her mom's name down.
Yeah, which I think was smart.
Oh, that was an excellent move. You knew she was getting voted out. How could you capitalize on this? I think it was the best move. How can I capitalize on you voting my mom out? Did it hurt? Oh, of course. Your mom is gone.
Yeah. It's got to be tough for her being on the island. But we will get to that event, like that super exciting tribal. I will say, Sandra, on the other hand, she's going after still. She wants David out of this game. Poor David. What did my man David do? I will say this. I'm a huge David fan, and he is playing probably one of the best catch-up games I've ever seen in Survivor. From being on the outs, nobody likes him. Nobody wants anything to do with him. And I actually feel like, which means he'll go home next week. You know, I felt like he was in danger and he was fine, but he'll end up going home next week. I actually feel he's in a really good position in this game now.
I think David's worked himself into what we like to call the swing vote guy.
Exactly, yes.
I think he can be utilized by either side. And if David makes it to the merge, I think he's going to be a key player and getting probably up to the top 5. Because now he's kind of settled back down. And now you've had the mix up of the tribe, so he doesn't have to look at Sam or anybody else that he kind of, went a little crazy with for a little while. They're no longer on the same tribe. Mm-hmm. So he has a second chance. And it's kind of layered. Some other people are before Dave now because of different reasons. Yeah. So I think this time Dave becomes the swing vote guy. So I'm going to put him in that category.
Excellent point, because people keep going to Dave. Every single alliance, when they're like, we got to get the numbers to pull off this big move. Well, let's go get Dave. So no one's paying attention to Dave and saying, hey, Dave's a big move. We need to get Dave out of the game. Instead, they're like, let's go get Dave so we have the numbers to make this move. But we get to the immunity challenge, and this is kind of like a classic Survivor challenge. There's an obstacle course you have to do, and then you have to do this puzzle where there's a collar, and you have to get this ball through this maze and through a door. I thought the challenges this episode felt very Survivor-esque. I didn't really like them as much as I love, the past Australian Survivor challenges this season. They're still good. They were just a little step down for me. But what we get some funny moments here. Jonathan is screaming at Sandra as she's going on the balance beam about Sandra is a handbrake in this challenge. And I literally wrote down, Jonathan, lighten up. I think she's doing okay for being, someone who's not good at challenges.
If you ask Tiffany about the balance beam, she'll have something different to say.
Oh, no. Yeah, let's bring Tiffany on to talk the balance beam. I could talk an entire podcast about the balance beam.
Talk about that balance beam.
Yeah.
I think that actually Sandra did really well compared to one of the twins. Was it Mel?
Yeah, I think it was Mel.
He fell off the balance beam.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. That was the key factor to saying, hey, time, because you're trying to get across the balance beam as quick as possible. But in actuality, if you're not really good at walking on something like that, just take your time. And
yeah, exactly.
She fell off, but Sandra didn't fall off. And then you had to pick up these little awkward crates and with the balls in them and walk with it. So you kind of gotta measure it, but you also gotta say it's gotta be entertaining.
Yeah, she's definitely not a handbrake though.
Who's more entertaining to talk about, Sandra at this point or Mel?
Who's Mel?
one of the twins.
Well, no, that's the point I'm making.
Oh, yeah, it's one of the twins. You're like, we could talk about it, but who would be more fun to talk about? It's like, you're more fun to talk about. So we'll go with Sandra.
This is the moment that Sandra dug her own grave, in my opinion, because Nina is the caller, and Nina is doing a pretty good job. And Abraham, you can talk about this way more than I can. I don't have children. I don't have that child and parent bond. and I understand, you want the best for your daughter and you want to try to help her and see her succeed, but you got to step back and let her do it. And Sandra just kept chiming over Nina here. And this is when I was like, Nina's going to cut you loose.
First of all, I'm gonna give the editing group a applause on this one to capture just the little tidbits of stuff she was saying. No, that's the wrong way. This is the right way. And you're right. At the end, you got to say we're on Survivor. We're not at home.
Yeah.
I'm gonna step back and I'm gonna let somebody else play that role. Even if she'd have just stepped to the side and somebody else had said it, it would have took
it would have felt better because
it just feel like
Nina,
mom was just needling you. And then I don't know if you caught it, but when the daughter gave that look, kids give looks that parents see and be like, keep playing. This about to be over for you. Your life is ending. And Nina gave her mom that look, and I was like, oh, Sandra about to hit her with that backhand. So
that would have been a talking point if we saw that.
You forgot that you was on Survivor, but I mean, you give your parents that look like I got this, and they just continue, and Sandra continue to try to what she perceived to be helping, which any other day would have been help.
Which is a parent move, yeah.
Yeah, it's our innate DNA to try to help. But on a game of Survivor, I'd have stepped to the side. I'd have been on the other side of her. I wouldn't even been over there. I'd have been like, my daughter's on her own. Let's see how that works out for her.
Exactly. I mean, you got to let her, especially coming into the game, and you guys talk about, I'm going to let you play your game, play my game, especially Sandra. Sandra is super smart at the game of Survivor, and it just felt weird. I was like, she's letting her mothership come out here, and I was like, yeah, I don't see this ending well for her. Let's see. I actually have 2 pages, so I have to flip the page here. I just wrote again, we got a lot of confessionals for Sam and Jordy this episode. They were kind of the main people being shown here. But Blue does end up, I think I forgot to say that if I didn't. Blue ends up winning immunity here. Sandra is still going after her nemesis, Dave. So that's the move she wants to make. And she's trying to reel in Nina and her alliance. But at the same time, she understands, she's like, I'm at a position that I am literally at the mercy of my daughter and her alliance. I got to trust in my daughter. I got to trust that she wants what's best for me and stuff. And we have that parent-child bond and everything. And then Mel is also a name that gets thrown out here by Nina's group as like an easy vote. So then this is a big mistake we get from Sandra. I don't know if you caught this, Abraham. They went to Sandra before Jordy's like, why are we going Mel? Let's go for Sandra. Like, this is a big move. They're talking to Sandra and they're saying Mel's the vote out. And Sandra says it would have been, I can't remember who she would have said this to. But she said Mel is weaker than me, because that's the whole reasoning they're voting Mel out, is because she's weak at challenges. And Sandra goes, wait, you really think Mel is weaker than me? And I'm like,
that's when she was in the water.
Yeah. I'm like, Sandra, do you really like want to just throw your name out? Do you just want to say like, vote for me? Like, I was very confused about this move.
Well, when it comes down to when you got to go over your resume, as you like to call it in the Inner Survivor, who's a better resume? Is it taking out Sandra or taking out Mel at this point? It's orchestrating taking out Sandra, because now not only do you have to deal with Sandra, you also have to deal with Nina. And you can always say, hey, I took out Sandra and I also utilized her daughter to help me take out her mother.
Which is a great game move.
Yeah. Taking out Mel at this point doesn't really make your resume that strong against anybody that took out Sandra. Just because of name recognition and just respect of playing the game of Survivor, who would you want to take out more so in your resume? And Jordy's right. His resume now says, I orchestrated the removal of Sandra from my tribe, where if you'd have said, I got Mel, okay, well.
Who cares?
I'm not saying Mel is not a good Survivor player, but now, here's where we're at in Survivor. Let's build our resume. So that's pretty interesting that Sandra said, who's weaker? I'd have been like, Mel is the weakest of, I'll throw anybody on the bus. I had a list of people I was going to throw on the bus.
Oh, man. Well, Abraham, we're going to take a quick break here just so we can upload this part of it and everything. And when we come back, I think we're making good time, and we're going to get to that exciting and very sad elimination of the Queen. And we're also going to talk about whether this is the last ride for the Queen or not. We'll be right back.
It's gonna be interesting. Okay, Randy.
Well, welcome back, everybody, and it is now time, the sad time, to bring an end to Sandra's chapter. So, entering Tribal Council, Blue holds the majority, 6-4. When you talk about, like, this is the new Water Tribe, and you have the old Red members and the people who just stayed at the Blue camp. I really did think Sandra was probably going to go here. And I knew it was going to go this way, Abraham. When Sandra's answering Jonathan about some stuff, and she looks over at Nina, and Nina says, and I quote, "Don't look at me, look at him," end quote. And you can see it on Sandra's face. She knew immediately she's going home.
So this is called blood versus water. You know your family members. So you don't have to worry. Sandra knew right in that particular moment that it's time to go. But I mean, the way she departed was such a, we'll say, Sandra's survivor queen.
She left
departure.
with class. Yeah.
She was even giving out little nuggets of, hey, this is how you play now. Y'all better be careful. But it wasn't like a normal departure where you had somebody, hey, I just played the game of Survivor for the first time. I'm just going to walk off into the sunset. But Sandra was like, hey, by the way, don't do this. Hey, don't fall for this trick. And she knew her daughter wasn't going to say anything to her. So I think it added to the whole suspense of being voted out. But she did a classy departure. I look forward to meeting you in person, Sandra, and be like, hey, classy departure on Australia Survivor.
She added, I just want to say how much it means to me that you guys let me come out to Australia and, play this version of the game. Jonathan was obviously, it was a pleasure having you. And it really hit me hard sitting there and seeing Sandra when she knew she was going home. I wrote it down. She was emotional. You saw the emotion on her face. And that's real quick, not to get lost in all this. Shay did play her idol to flush it out.
It was so quiet that we're like, okay, doing the whole lead up to, we knew Sandra was going to get voted out. We already knew that it was already in the works. They were going to slay her. Where was Shay so concerned about protecting herself? I was like, there was a little snippet.
I think she just wanted to get rid of it because of the reason that every idol is public. I'm pretty sure she said something like, everybody knows about it. I think she just wanted to get rid of the idols so there wasn't a target on her back.
Yeah, I still would have kept my idol and said, hey, look, Khan, you're a bigger threat. You're a bigger social threat. Because if you look at the editings, we really can't tell how Shay is playing. Even in the challenges, we don't really get a good idea of where she kind of stands because she doesn't do every challenge. Mm-hmm. So you're like, Shay, you're there. We know you're there. But but what are you doing? Your other half, Ben, is a beast.
Yeah.
Ben is in every challenge. He's emotionally invested in every challenge. Shay right now is kind of sitting back. Now you've given away the one protection that you had, and you didn't have to. So let's see how that pans out.
Yeah, I think she just wanted the target off her back, but I wanted to throw that out there because it like you said, it was so quiet. Like we were all paying attention. Shay did play her idol too. It was like, that was it. But you could definitely see the emotion on Sandra's face and everything. So my question to you, Abraham, we had this discussion during the cast assessment, and you said that if Sandra makes it far in this game, I think she'll be happy riding off into the sunset. Is this it? Is this it for Sandra?
I don't, again, we all played the game of Survivor, and the very first thing we say is, don't call me back. Because in that moment of emotions and playing the game and a little resentment to people that voted you out for a little time. And once you get past all that stuff, if somebody came to you and was like, hey, would you play now? Oh, immediately. When's the plane leaving?
Yeah.
And that's the thing about it is, no matter how many times you played before, you still want to compete on the game of Survivor. And knowing that you're on Australian Survivor just makes you want to compete even more to represent not only yourself and your family, because your daughter's there, but also the U.S. Survivor. Hey, we can come over here and play in Australia as well. So I think that's kind of the fun part of it there. So she really appreciated the fact that she was on Australia Survivor. Where Russell No.
He
He won't get invited back.
made it day 2, right? I think this is I'll just say my opinion. I think this is the end of Sandra. I think this will be the last time we ever see her, but I said the same thing for Winners at War. So who knows? I could be wrong, but the emotion that was on her face just told me she knew this was it.
Well, yeah, at that particular time, Sandra's not coming back. Cause we all felt the same. We all dirty. We all step outside. It's an emotional game. But then when you get a chance to sit back at it again, you be like, if I get another chance to go back out,
if I can go out,
look, if I could drag my daughter out there, I'll be like, hey,
you're going back out.
Yeah, but my daughter's not going.
Oh, that's important.
She not having it.
So key on the drag part. You'll have to drag her out there.
Literally have to drag her out there.
All right.
And I'll probably have to pay her a salary while she's out there, just as a bribe to get her to do it.
She's like, I'll keep playing. I won't quit, but as long as you keep paying me. Oh, man, that's funny. All right, so this sets up what will happen post-Sandra.
Somebody's going to have to check her cash app while she's out there.
Yes.
Oh, Randy froze on me.
Oh, wait, let me see.
You froze for a second. I'm back.
You back? I was going to say, it's kind of been cutting a little bit. Should be good. Let me check everything. Yep, should be good. All right,
yeah,
so we're good? Cool. So we get back. Nina is struggling with the loss of her mom, which you stated earlier is definitely going to be a tough thing. Everyone's comforting her. Really, I think of Jordy. Jordy goes up and, I'm sorry, like, this is what we had to do. And Jordy is really taking credit for putting this whole Sandra vote together, which he was like the lead. He was the one who kind of put this thing all together and all that. Here's another nickname real quick. What do you think of the Joker for Jordy?
You know what? Like I said, it's a lot of stuff that happens outside of the camera that you never see past the edits.
Yeah.
And you're like, who comes up with this stuff? I don't know. I can't remember which episode it was in, but you're gonna see the guy with his butt out on the screen. You're like, what are you doing? He's just killing time.
Yeah.
And you're like, how did that make it onto the screen? And so much other fun stuff didn't. But you just amazing that you can't see the development of it. You just kind of see the end result of it, which is great because now you got these nicknames. So you're out there 24/7 with a group of people that you just met, but y'all going through the same experience. So these things are gonna come out.
We had to have that white butt on our screen. We had to.
Yeah. Like nobody ever saw the Netflix corner I built on my tribe where we had a little seat you could sit down and we were looking at the fire that was on Netflix. But
that's cool.
It's just crazy stuff that's happened when you just don't have any electronics. You're out there.
You're trying to
doing stuff.
That's what I said. I said if I ever go out there, I'm gonna be the annoying guy who keeps like building games or something, and I'm like, come on guys, let's go play a game or something. They're gonna be like, this guy, let's just sleep in the shelter or something. The boredom is something that I don't think anyone can fully understand until you actually go out on the show, like when all the challenges aren't happening and stuff like that. What we get to on the Water Tribe, Con and Sam are having a ton of fun. They're hosting some type of cooking show where Sam's acting like she's a guest. It's just everybody's happy on the Water Tribe. Except we have this underlying tension. I mean, the Dave and Sandra thing is over, but we have this underlying tension of Sam and Sophie. And poor KJ is stuck right in the middle of this. We even see an awkward moment where Sam is talking to KJ. And Sophie walks up from like behind the bushes and is like, hey, what are you all talking about over here? And then Sam just has to kind of play it off. And then Sophie continues to talk to KJ. She's very forward. And I hate to say aggressive, but kind of aggressive a little bit. She's talking to KJ like, tell me exactly what you guys are talking about. I need to know this right now and stuff like that. Sophie was not playing the best game here, Abraham, if I'm being honest.
Sophie just made it because they had a twist in the game.
Yeah. Should have been out a while ago.
Yeah, she should have been out a while ago. And it's nothing to say that Sophie played a bad game. It's just that Sophie game didn't fit with anybody else's game. Even it didn't fit with her tribe game when she thought she had the guys and they turned on her and Sandra got her voted out. It's just like, but even though we play Survivor and you play Survivor, some of that stuff goes home with you.
Yeah.
And I think Sophie did an excellent job of letting her sister know, one, how proud she was of her and how much she looked at her and her kids. She said how your kids are going to look at you. But she had to vote her out. I mean, and everybody's going to face that same hurdle eventually of either do you want to win and be called the sole survivor? Or do you want to let your loved one win and they be called the sole survivor? Then the competitiveness in, like, take for instance, a Ben and a Shay relationship. Both competitive athletics. Do you let one beat over the other, or how's that going to play out? So we're going to see that more. But I think Sophie on her exit did a great job of reinforcing her sister. That's why I said KJ is coming back after Sam for what she did to her sister.
It was just an awkward situation to watch the entire time. The whole dynamic between Sophie and Sam and KJ. And I found this out listening to the Slaying the Dragon podcast and our old friend Scott, who joined us. I didn't know this. I didn't know this about Australian Survivor. There's always 2 to 3 non-elimination legs a season. And that's just because the 10 Play, the channel that has the show on, they order a certain amount of episodes, and so for Survivor to hit that quota of episodes, they have to do 2 to 3 non-elimination tribals.
I like that twist. I like that.
You like? I don't have a problem.
I like
with
that twist because you never know when it's coming. So that means if they're hold true, we got 2 more. So you never know when it's coming, and it adds such another dimension to the game of Survivor.
Mm-hmm.
Had it not been Sophie and someone else, we probably would have seen them more assimilated into the tribe. But they kind of made her the villain of both tribes.
I don't have a problem with it. A lot of people, a lot of like diehard Survivor fans hate it because they're like, no, in Survivor, if you're voted out, you're voted out. There's no second chances. We've seen second chances before. Redemption Island,
Exile Island, all that stuff.
Yeah, we've seen it. It's just a different version of that. Instead of taking her to another island, and I know some people are going to say, well, in those instances, you have to earn your way back in the game. I'd say you really need to earn your way back in the game here too, because Sophie is someone who's been voted out already, and that paints a huge target on your back of, we've already voted her out, so why is she still here? So she still has to fight to stay in the game. And she did that for a few rounds.
Like Mark not want to go work with his loved one at that time, because it's a bad thing. Sophie's now thrust into working with her sister, no different than Croc working with his in-law. You don't really want to be pushed into that until the merge. The merge is
that's when it's time.
Because now everybody that's loved ones are together. Now you can like, okay, we can actually form super groups. Instead of 2 people, now we have 4. So I think Sophie just didn't fit, and her sister had to eliminate her or be eliminated. Because if you notice in the vote, the only 2 people that were up was Sophie and her sister.
Yep.
So I'll be
that
like, why does my name have to be written down? Why can't you write somebody else's name down?
I felt bad for KJ. I was like, why are we targeting KJ just in case her sister plays an idol? Like, why are we doing this? Why not throw a few votes on Khan? And just in case Sophie plays an idol, get out Khan.
They threw out 1 vote on Khan.
Well, that was Sophie's.
But KJ, but if Sophie had an idol, KJ would have went home.
Which would have sucked. That's why.
It would suck for KJ, but it would have made Sophie an easier vote out the next time anyway. So she was gonna have to go.
I just want to. There's some moments in this immunity challenge that gets me too. Some of Jonathan's phrases just crack me up. He says at one point, and I think this is like the 9th time he says it, Sophie just wanting to prove herself to her new tribe. I'm like, hasn't Sophie been on the tribe for like 7 days now or something like that? And I think he said this every single challenge.
I mean, like Jonathan, like Jeff. And here's the funny part. There's a lot of stuff that both hosts say that you never hear that's on TV.
yeah.
But you see the reactions of some of the stuff that they say in the editings. Because they say stuff you'd be like, really? Is that something that we really want to hear at that moment when you're in the throes of the battle and you like on the right hand or left hand side of your ear, you got this person yelling like, what are you talking? I'm dying out here. So it's I'm gonna go and say editing is throwing him out there. He probably want to work on his phrasing.
Abraham, would you have done good at this challenge? You think you could have stood there? I think I could have went for a while.
First of all, my answer will always be yes. I'm a physical specimen at my current age, so yes.
Yeah.
But I would have used Mark's tactic. Because Mark allowed
rotated around.
It wasn't the disc that was the problem. It was your arms that's the problem. So when he was moving their arms back and forth, he coordinated that. He said back, forth. He was telling them to move their arms to get blood circulation.
Yeah.
So Mark's gameplay is outstanding. And had knowledge on the game before. The question you should ask yourself is, why did Sam do better than she did?
Yeah.
So
It was kind of Red Wind's immunity here, and it really wasn't close. Mark even says at one point to Jordan, he goes, "We can go for hours." And then Jonathan had a funny moment here. He said, "Mark, do you remember who won this game last time?" And he goes, "Yeah, I think I do." And who was it again? Might have been me. And at that point, I was like, "Oh, just drop, because Mark's gonna go unless Jordan messes up. Mark's ready to go for hours because he had that like twig in his mouth."
He wasn't having a problem carrying the world. He was like, just take your time.
He's just eyeing them down and everything. It was perfect. So this sets up the eventual showdown, Sam versus Sophie, which we knew was kind of the route that we were going to go here. Now, KJ could be the decider. KJ's in the middle of this. Sam, actually, I forgot to mention this as well. Sam mentions to Mark on her way out, I think Sophie is gunning for me, and Mark says, get her out. And so KJ's going to be the decider here. She's going to have to kind of choose, but then the plan changes almost. The original plan was 7-2 to split it between Sophie and KJ, just in case Sophie has an idol. Then they were going to vote off KJ because she's a sister, and it would have been the easy vote just to get her out. But then Sophie wants to flush Khan's idol, and she actually brings this up to Sam as, look, no one is expecting us to work together. Why don't we, kind of bygones be bygones? There's bigger threats in the game than what we have going on right now. And I was so confused during this editing because from what it looked like to me... Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me? Oh, freezing again. Are you still there? Are you still there?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, it keeps coming up. Your internet connection is unstable. So it must be something on my end.
I'm smart from my end. Modern technology, gotta love it.
You got to work with it.
That's why I always keep the cable available.
It also doesn't help where I'm filming now. I'm literally like the box is on the other side of the cable wires. The internet router's on the other side of the house.
Well, I'm in my office, so I have the capability to actually plug in a cable in or just do the Wi-Fi. So I can plug either.
Oh, so you have two options. Well, let's see. Did you plug in the cord?
I plugged in the cord. I'm just running a bunch of Wi-Fi stuff from one room at the moment.
All right, let's see if that does it. And then if not, that's definitely something on my end. But so Sophie brings up this plan to flush Khan's idol, and I was getting really confused here because what it looked like to me is everybody was getting confused what the actual plan was because both plans were brought up to like the same alliance, but at the same time, editing made it look like everyone knew that the plan was Sophie, but they were playing along like they're going the Khan plan, and Chrissy just had no idea that they were not going to mention the other plan, but that was the plan they were going. See, it doesn't even make sense when I explain it. It was so confusing.
I don't know who the new Chrissy is. That now that Croc is with her, she's not playing the game of survivors. You know what's going to happen. You're not confused about it, but it looks like it was just utter confusion on that. Now, the right play would have been to flush the idol.
Yes.
Sophie
I agree.
is no threat. It was to flush the idol. Shay, I don't know why you played your idol, but for Khan is identified as a threat. He's a social threat. He has an idol. And this would have been a perfect opportunity, which if you go back to the previous episode, it was to flush the idol, except we had somebody that quit.
2 times now that it would have worked if you went with it.
But you're so bent on taking Sophie out when you have the numbers. So Sam, you have the numbers. So Sophie can be taken out at the next tribal or later on. But you still say, hey, we're going to leave Khan in there. I think that's going to come back to bite her because now he's going to be like, hey, we have problems with...
you got the tunes going.
That's that standard phone ring, so I know it's somebody I don't know. But you got flushing the idol doesn't seem like it's a priority unless somebody paints a target in your back because you have 2 idols on one tribe. Mm-hmm. Technically, you have 3 idols on one tribe. One is still in the hidden dark. The other 2 Shay has one, Khan has one. Let's flush somebody's idol, but you're going to take out the player because you really think.
Well,
that,
Shay gave up hers, remember?
Yeah, she gave it up. But
Yeah.
but you still want to go Sophie. So I don't understand her strategy. That's why I said she's probably going to get taken out before the merge.
I just said Survivor and hot messes. Can we never have one easy tribal? Like just one easy one where it's like, all right, this is the vote. This is what it's going to be. There's no reason. I'm like, it always has a wrench into things. There's always like a plan B, a plan C. I'm like, I've never seen a unanimous tribal where it's just like, this is what we're going to do. And,
well, I've seen a unanimous vote one time that I can remember.
Yeah.
It was Russell Hanson's nephew.
Yeah, I do remember that. We don't even need to go to tribal. Let's just get him.
Right here. I was like,
he had that coming. He dumped the rice and everything. Man, if you dump the rice and I'm on your tribe.
Well, no, because we had one of them that dumped some of the rice, but he dumped the rice and he threatened somebody. So
I'm pretty sure he broke a chair too. Like he was throwing a chair around or something. Oh, we'd be throwing hands.
I don't think he went back to Ponderosa. I think he went straight to the airport.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I'm saying, Abraham, if I'm on the tribe with him, I might get kicked off the show because if I see you dumping rice, we're throwing hands.
Yeah, he had a different Survivor experience.
Man, no, that's one of my all-time.
Thank the networks.
Yeah, that's one of my all-time favorite moments. But Sophie goes idol hunting. Ben is kind of right there with her, and then we get this moment where it looks like maybe she found something. I never believed she did. They tried editing it to make us believe that she did, but I don't know if you thought, Abraham, that she found something. But she kind of pulled up. She's like, "Yes," and then kind of, I'm like, "You didn't find anything." Ben was right there, and we definitely would have saw it.
Every idol is either under something or in top of something. I understood how you wanted to try to play it to seem like it was more than what it was, but Sophie was going home.
Yeah. What was your opinion on the tribal then? Because Sam and Sophie, this rivalry that's been going on, I'm sure they'll make up and they'll be fine and everything. And she left with a cool head, but it got shippy at tribal council, to the point that KJ was pretty much in tears, and these two are just going back and forth, mad at each other.
Like when you're out there and you kind of take away basically the layers that kind of keep you from being that emotional. When you don't eat on a regular basis, you're not sleeping, and then you with a new group of folks, and then you add in your own family dynamics. I'm pretty sure her and her sister may have some differences because like brothers and sisters have.
Yeah.
But you out here displaying it with strangers. And KJ is saying, hey, look, I might be the emotional sister. And Sophie is not the emotional sister, but I will say she gave her sister such great support by being voted out. And she was like, hey, go do what you got to do. Mm-hmm. So it was really emotional, but that's not unlike Survivor. Survivor is an emotional game.
That's what I was going to say. It was a very emotional moment when she had to write her sister's name down. You can tell it was really tearing her apart, more than it did Nina. Nina seemed like she was ready to write Sandra's name down. KJ seemed like she really did not.
KJ didn't have to write her name down, to tell the truth.
No, she didn't.
And that didn't play out. Nina's writing her mother's name gave her way more credit than KJ writing her sister's name. Mm-hmm. To me, KJ writing her sister's name didn't do anything for her. Where in Nina's case, it elevated her with her core group. KJ really doesn't have a core group like that. So we're going to see how that plays out.
And that's my next point. So we do finally say goodbye to Sophie for the second time. I did think she left a very, was kind of hot-headed when she was there, but she left in a great way, told everyone, no hard feelings, love you guys, have fun. So she left with a good head on her shoulders. And I thought it was funny that she went up to Jonathan and said, hey, don't you pull any twists on me. I can't take it. Snuff it. Give me the snuff. Let me go on, because I'm ready to go.
She wasn't trying to come back.
But then this sets up for our next episode, episode 9. Sam is interested to see her dynamic with KJ. And Abraham, you were literally talking about this earlier. What's going to happen between Sam and KJ now? I don't think much. I think they can get along, but you think differently.
I think KJ, if I was her, I would either go to Khan or Chrissy. Chrissy got those heartstrings, so I would go with her and say, hey, look, I took the one for the team. You voted my sister out. I want to still play. But if Sam is gunning for my sister, who's she gunning for next? And I would put that out. But you also still have the Khan play out there. Hey, Khan has an idol. So we don't win the immunity challenge. Guess what? We can take Khan out. So you have some options there. But how KJ ends Survivor is going to depend on how she plays next. So that's going to be pretty interesting.
With the idol talk, I think Sam's getting a little too ahead of herself, because we see Sam and Chrissy talk about the plan is we need to get Khan's idol out. Why have we not gotten Khan to play his idol? But then Sam goes to Khan and say, hey, maybe we should work together. And Sam mentions that she really loves Khan and what he's got going right now. And she's like, I need to get close with him. And they have this like awkward idol talk about like, it was super. I don't even remember what all was said. And I watched it this morning. It was in the water. They were kind of whispering to each other about the idol and stuff like that. Like Khan was like, I think I'm going to hold on to it. And Sam was like, just kind of standing there listening. And I was like, this is really awkward, because Sam just said she wants him to play it. And I'm like, if I was Khan, I would feel very iffy about the whole situation, because I'm talking about my idol. And he's like, I'll play it for the tribe. I'll play it for whoever I need to. And that was Sam's biggest question is, will you play it? Say we work together moving forward. Would you play it? And Khan's like, yeah. I don't think he would. I think Khan would hold on to that as long as he could.
Khan is definitely a better player in these last couple episodes than editing has given him credit for, and he still has an idol, so it makes no difference. Shay gave her idol up, but Khan still has an idol. I still think that if I had to look at Mark's style of playing in this particular season versus in Sam's, I would say Sam is heading war where she's going to blow her whole game up.
I do have that fear as well, yeah.
She's a female Dave in disguise, and I think it's going to play itself out.
Ooh, female Dave, Abraham.
Yeah, because if Mark gets voted out, Sam ain't got nobody. So,
I want Sam to listen to this and message you now and say, excuse me, Abraham, you're going to compare me to...
Like a female, you're going to blow your whole game up. And I think KJ is going to be the mastermind for it. That's what I'm putting out there. KJ is the mastermind.
Meanwhile, on the Blood Tribe, we're getting... the elements once again. Everybody's waking up with sores all over their arms and their backs and everything. Was it bad out there, Abraham? Like when you wake up in the morning and stuff with a bunch of... Oh, my biggest question. Okay, this is such a basic question. How bad are the mosquitoes while you guys are out there?
So let me how to put this. I've never encountered worse when it came to mosquitoes.
Yeah.
So when you're preparing to go out to play the game, we're waiting, and we had 3 different type of mosquito repellent, and we also had a guy that came through and gassed in the evening.
Oh wow!
It was like food for mosquitoes. we took a beating in pregame to go play the game. Those are the worst mosquitoes I've felt in my life, and they would be waiting for you every morning.
Oh, I bet it's a buffet every year. They look forward to when the Survivor players come out. They're like, oh, here we go.
we're slathering on whatever spray or whatever gel or whatever. But now when you're on the island, I didn't really have any problems with mosquitoes. But here's the thing. You see everything. So like the ants that are crawling on your shelter, that's what's biting you in the middle of the night. And so whatever that lives outside is biting you. So I slept fully dressed. With my head covered up with my buff. So I was like
nothing's biting me.
I don't want anything to get in my ear and my mouth. So
oh no.
Or you kind of sat by the fire or something like that. But anything that's outside, you're not protected from. So it gets you.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is a strange bite. Because I think somebody had a spider bite on one season. I think her name was Denise. Had a spider bite.
What's it on her knee? I can't remember where it was.
But it was a spider bite, and it's not like there's nothing blocking the outside elements from getting you. So you're just hoping it gets the person next to you first. In that case, Nina had already gotten bit. A couple of the guys had already gotten bit, but they got bit by something.
It was there's no exterminator walking around the camp making sure you guys are safe with bugs and everything. No, that's definitely got to be the worst part.
Pre-game, yes. In the game of Survivor, no. They don't give you bug repellent because they think a spider might bite you.
Yeah.
If a spider bites you and it looks like it's going to be like something deadly, they will medically examine you and be like, oh, okay, this might be deadly. We're going to go ahead and flush this out or something. But no, it's not going. For everybody that thinks Survivor is not real, Let me tell you something. When you grab something and something bites you, something really bites
Ah, sounds miserable, and yet I still want to play the game.
you. Look, I'll go back out there. Hey, I'll go there tomorrow. My bag's is packed.
Oh wait, they're calling me right now. Let's go. No. All right, so we get to the Blood Tribe, like I said. Jordan and Amy really have this weird dynamic, and they've kind of been a duo throughout this season, both on their original Red Tribe and now still on Red. But now Amy feels left out because Jordan is with his cousin Josh. And hello, Josh. We got more Josh this episode than we've had any other, 8 other episodes this season. We heard a lot from him about how he's been laying back, which, yeah, we've barely seen you. But he says he knows that when the time comes, he needs to take the lead and really take hold of his game, which he starts throughout this episode. We see him kind of put this alliance together. And Nina is actually a huge part of this. He goes to Nina and talks to her, and she mentions, look, my mom said play your game, and I think what's best for my game right now is to go with the cousins, Josh and Jordan, at least for now. I'm cool being their third string for now. And this kind of creates a problem a little bit later when Nina's like, okay, how can I be Josh's number one if Jordan's here, which we'll get to that. But what do you think about the tribe dynamics on Red? Because we have this whole, it doesn't look like, on Blue, we can clearly see the alliances in the sand. And I don't think we really see that with Red. It's more of a cohesive unit right now, trying to pick off people one by one.
Hey, well, you know what? You kind of don't want to integrate your loved ones too early in your tribe.
Yeah.
So we've seen that self-destruct on a couple of occasions. We've seen it on Sandra. We've seen it on where one tribe, daughter gets voted out. So now you kind of got individuals coming back together, and they're like, hey, either you have somebody with you or you don't, but you automatically have a target once you have a loved one there. So it's like, instead of playing against one person, I'm playing against two persons. And I don't think she played it well.
Yeah, Nina?
No. I think Khan's sister. Amy.
Yeah, Amy. Yeah.
I don't think Amy surveyed that situation well because she wasn't the target.
No, not at all.
So we sent a lot of people that are not the target that made themselves the target. So in her case, she's making herself the target.
Yeah.
So
rookie mistakes.
That. Yeah, I said, hey, at least I got 3. So it would have been 3 of us together. You got your 2, you got your loved one, now it's me. And just kind of, it's really communication. It comes down, Survivor is a lot of communication. On camera, off edit, whatever, you have to communicate.
Would you say that's the number one factor in playing the game of Survivor?
It's a factor because look, I don't know how you're perceived what I'm telling you. You may think that I'm telling you something and you be like, you just lying. It's just a lie. Everything you think that I'm saying is a lie. But
I thought you were talking about how I'm perceiving you talking. I'm like, no, I think I'm following along so far.
No. It's
I was like, no, I think I'm following along. I think I got you. No, I got you.
See, that's Survivor right there.
You said one thing and I took it completely like a different direction. So that's like kind of the game as well. You got to kind of watch what you say and how you word it and stuff because of how it could come across.
Yeah, so you ready to play Survivor?
Well, I don't know about that. I might.
Well, that's what we doing.
Yeah, we'll try to figure that out when we get there. Hopefully I get the call one day. But no, you make a great point. The communication was definitely something that really led this episode, especially in the Blood Tribe. Let's get to the reward challenge for fish and chips. Let me just tell you, okay, Abraham. I know you people listening to this can't see Abraham's face right now, but it is like the look of disappointment. Is it about the food?
Let me tell you something. These are the best meals. You got fish and chips. I mean, the best meals ever. Look, give them one piece of fish, one chip, and split it between the rest of the tribe.
Oh, you're evil.
Yeah, don't give them. Look, they're enjoying their meals. They're sitting there. They're like, these are the best meals ever.
They were playing in the water. They had a rope swing and everything. A hammock. Oh man. Hey, let me just say, Abraham, have you ever had like like real fish and chips like overseas?
I've actually gone to England and enjoyed fish and chips firsthand. It's great.
Let me just, they taste better over there than they do here.
Yeah, we have an Americanized version of everything. If you want to try
Yeah.
something for real, and just go over to, and I had the opportunity to go over to England and be there for a week and enjoy their food and their beverage. Thanks for that beverage; it was great. Um, but yeah, I know the enjoyment they're about to receive. So I'm like comparing it to the enjoyment that we didn't receive.
That's the problem. I had some fish and chips when I went to Ireland. It was like literally the first thing I had day one. But the funny thing is, I think you're just mad because of so little that you guys got in season 41. I think that's where those anchors coming from.
I'm gonna blame that on we had a pandemic and we had to deal with pandemic supply issues.
Yeah, they should give you guys all a second chance when the pandemic dies down to have like a full 39-day Survivor 2.0. Run it back.
Look, we didn't get the same treatment.
Yeah, same tribes and everything. Don't switch up the tribes. Make Abraham start with Yasek.
Here's where you can't see me. No, I'm gonna have to switch out some folks.
All right, but basically this reward challenge is a jousting game. Basically, there's a giant log in the middle with two people standing on the far ends and then two people actually pulling the log towards their direction, trying to knock off the person behind them, which would earn their tribe a point. We got some great moments here as well. Sorry, I always say that, but this is a challenge I love. This is an Australian challenge that I love. You didn't like it, Abraham?
I love all the Australian challenges, but this one sucked.
Oh, you didn't really?
In the sense that you're depleted and you're trying to pull this log, and we see where Ben has given everything, and he's almost about to knock the person off.
Close.
Another person like, well, guess you out of power now. I got you, and ran it. I was like, Croc got drugged by Mark again, so we had that happen.
Mark is unbeatable. I wrote again. Mark is so good. He's unbeatable.
I love the challenge, but I felt the physicality of the challenge and how it would actually, how it would impact your body.
Yeah.
And then you had Chrissy against Mel. I was like, okay, let's see how this works out. And to me, it was like Sandra 2.0. Here we go. Sandra, you about to lose this one.
Yeah.
But to my surprise, Mel actually was dominating that first on the challenge.
Yeah. It was a good one.
You just gotta have to wait them out and say, okay, you can expend all your energy off that hot dog that you ate, and then you come out there and get drugged. It was a good challenge. I would have loved to bid in that challenge, but I felt the pain and suffering of that challenge.
What they had to go through. Josh and Ben was amazing. It ended with Ben, like you said, losing, and then he was so mad about it. Actually goes back to camp and keeps beating himself up, and Chrissy's like, bro, you got to calm down. And Croc goes 0-2, and we even see him smacking the ground in anger for losing the fish and chips. But like you said, they get this huge reward, fish and chips. It's a whole shack. They have fun and everything. Not too much game talk is happening here. We get back to the blue because Red Tribe won reward. We get back to the blue tribe, and Chrissy is feeling for home. We have this really cool scene where she's really feeling it, and my like dark heart that I have, I'm like, girl, you're on Survivor, get over it. You've got a month and a half, you're fine. I imagine it's harder when you're out there, but we got that emotional moment. But on the other hand, Khan feels great. Khan's like, I could do this, for 3 years if I need to. He didn't say that, but it was kind of like how he was feeling. He feels great. He's like, I don't care. I don't miss this. I don't miss this. And he says losing the reward can be a good thing for a tribe because it can fire you up and everything. And it also kind of shows where everybody's at and who's really feeling down and needs a pick me up of like, hey, come work with me. Do you agree with this statement, being someone who was on the game of Survivor?
Yeah, when you win, you're up. Nothing goes wrong when you're winning. Winning is always a catalyst to seeing how everybody kind of interacts, because now you have something to, we all won. This is great. Even going into our first challenge, I said, hey, look, they're going to probably only eliminate one tribe. So if we can't come in first, we definitely need to come in second. So you kind of strategize that way, but then you look and say, okay, and it was a reward challenge. Who takes it worse when you lose? Because you only get a short period of time where you got to turn back around and compete again.
Yeah.
And can you make that turnaround? And Chrissy, it's natural because you start sitting out there. You have times where you're by yourself, where you're just kind of in your own zone, where you start reflecting back on your family. But in loved ones, you got Croc out there with you.
Yeah.
My sympathy is not that high. I understand, we miss our loved ones, but you also have a loved one with you. So I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
that's
you've
great.
got someone there right by your side.
Yeah, let's get back to playing.
This kind of shocked me. Before we get to the immunity challenge, Khan tells, I can't remember who he was talking to. It might have been Sam. He says that he would vote for Ben because Ben is someone who's a little heated. And like I said, I bring up that he was really beating himself up. And Christy's like, you need to calm down. This surprised you, didn't it, Abraham, that he would go after Ben?
Me and Ben are the same caliber. I want to compete. I want to get out there and give it 110% or whatever, because I want to win. And if you go back to it, if it wasn't for Ben, y'all been down more members, because Ben was the only one that competed against the Blue Tribe in the one challenge where he hung on the longest.
Oh, I still love that. Yeah.
He saved the entire tribe. So now you're like, okay, Ben is a threat. Now, Ben has no idol. Ben is giving you 100%. And you also have Khan with an idol. Khan, I think that was a misstep. I think you should have stayed away from Ben and just didn't co-sign on what Chrissy was saying about Ben. It's like, you know what? Yeah, but I like that passion. No, I think we need to get Ben out. I don't think this is a time to say, as long as the other tribe has physical capability, you need to try to match it as much as possible.
I agree.
No better person on your tribe than Ben. So no, Khan, that was a misstep.
I agree. I think you keep the strength until you get to the merge, and then you need to get them out once you can. But if I ever go on Survivor, I will never say that, because you mentioned strength, like we need to keep strength, and it gets turned back to you.
That's how I got voted out.
Yeah. You got robbed, Abraham. Robbed.
Go back and look at my challenges. I was first. I was the first one through it.
Two bags and everything. Oh man.
Slow mo it. First person through the sand. That was like sawdust.
Yeah.
Extra hot and blinding.
Yeah, that did not look fun.
Yeah, so no, but it didn't work for me like I thought it was. But for Ben, it's working.
So we get to the immunity challenge, which I just titled "Don't Drop," which is basically, this wasn't really a physical challenge. It's you have these kind of like footholds that you have to step through. There's literally a platform that you have to step all the way through while you're balancing. I don't even remember what they were called. These little totem things. And you have to take them all the way to the end and stand them on a stand and stack them 8 high. And if you at all hit this like platform you're stepping in between, then it will shake and knock everything over. So it was more of like a patience and slow and steady type challenge, which is fine. We've seen those before. Yeah, so basically Red was dominating. Red was looking great until Jordan knocked it over, which, let me just say, it was not Jordan's fault. Whoever went before Jordan, they put that little totem thing on like very crookedly. Like you had one like this, and then this one was like this. So I don't put that on Jordan. You get what I'm saying?
The actual challenge was the equalizers, because it equalized the physicality.
Yeah.
So because Croc and them were bigger, they were more
bigger feet and them.
Yeah, Jonathan made sure we know their feet was big. Those little squares
every single time. This guy's got big feet. This girl's got little feet.
I was like, Jonathan, that doesn't. All you gotta do is step slowly.
Yeah.
You're right. Jordan got set up because the person in front of him did not look to see, let's put this the correct way. And that happens in challenges. Your mind is running at 1,000 miles a minute, and you're trying to make sure you try to get through the challenge. And you got Jonathan in the back that's constantly saying
yelling
something.
And screaming at you.
your own tribe may be saying something, and now you're looking at the other tribe. And Jonathan just got ahead of himself. Jordan got ahead of himself, which did not. It was like, okay, God, now you got to start over.
Yeah. Blue pulls away after they drop. Ben was the guy who kind of finished it off, felt like the hero again. I think Ben likes that. He likes feeling like he's carrying the tribe and everything in challenges. So we head back to the Red tribe, and Amy throws out Jordan because he lost the challenge. And I'm saying here, like, Jordan's your closest ally in this game from what we see. Because the plan is to vote out Mel because she just really isn't fitting in. It should be an easy vote. And Jordan literally goes to Amy and says, this is the plan. I just want you to know so you feel safe. So he's even proving that he's trustworthy. And you're like, I think we need to take out one of the boys. Okay, don't throw Jordan out, throw Josh out.
Now, let's not forget, Amy has an idol.
Yeah.
So she has an
Does she
immunity
still?
idol. Yeah,
No, I
she
think
can
she.
play.
I thought she played it
Did she?
before. I think she did to get rid of it.
Okay.
Yeah, she flushed it out. It was like the first day she got it. She's like, I'm just gonna go ahead and play this because I don't want
Okay.
it.
I was thinking she still had the idol. We in episode number 9, so you got to go
Hey,
back.
there's already been like a million idols, so you don't know who does and who doesn't.
But she was at a part of the game where she didn't have to. She just had to align herself with somebody. She wasn't even the target.
Yeah.
That's what I said before. People are making themselves the target when they're not even the target. Just sit back and let the game sometime comes to you. And by her coming out there and actually saying something, guess what? Now, Amy, you're the target.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
you target somebody who had another vote. It's almost like having an extra vote because now you got your loved one.
I just don't know why she would choose to go after Jordan over Josh. Like, I get your plan. I think you should have just went along. What I feel about Survivor is until the merge, don't try to make any moves. Just go along with the group until the merge, and then really start. That would be my game plan going on the show. Obviously, it's you get out there and it changes. Your game plan changes and all that. But that's why I was like, why not just go along with the group, vote out Mel? I just felt like it wasn't the right time to go after the guys.
Well, yeah, because you gotta also think about dynamics are different. They only have 2 tribes.
Yeah.
Where in our season we had 3 tribes. So you have less time. So you got to look at it. You're right. Once you get out there and you realize here's what the dynamic's going to present, then you can make a decision. Again, Amy, at that particular time, no decision needed to be made. You could have kind of sat back and let somebody else kind of drive. But sometimes everybody gets in and want to make that big move.
Yeah.
And sometimes that big move don't work out for you.
Where she made her mistake is she went to tell Shay instead of talking to Nina first. When she was trying to make the numbers to pull off this move, she pulled in Mark, and I think Mark would have went along with it if she for sure had the numbers. I don't think Mark would have fought it. She goes after Mark, Mel, Dave, and then trying to get at least one more, she goes with Shay, and then Shay immediately goes and tells Jordan and Josh. And that's when I was like, okay, your plan has been ruined. I think if she went to Nina, I think she would have been okay. What do you think, Abraham?
First of all, she didn't look at Sandra. Sandra gave out some nuggets in the game of Survivor.
Yeah.
Always push the buttons. Never see somebody let somebody see you push the buttons. She wanted to be on spokesman for this particular move. And again, you're trying to make big moves. You're right. She should have went to Nina and said, hey, what do y'all think? And let somebody else be the spokesperson for the actual vote out selection. Because if you notice, everybody always comes and says, well, what do you think about voting somebody out? And then once you say it, you can't take it back. Well, here, this is the person that said your name. So that's why Sandra can't let Dave go, because Dave said her name and wrote it down. So in her case, she could have kind of sat back and let that play out a different way, because he has a loved one now. So he has 2 votes. He already has his extra vote. So now you got to convince somebody else, why should we vote you out? Now, look at the other tribe. You vote him out, physically, you're pretty much getting dominated because all you got left is Mark.
Yeah.
So now, are you prepared to lose the remainder of the challenges leading up to the merge? And that's really what it is. That merge for this particular season is going to be key, and you want to make it to the merge.
I'm interested to see when the merge happens. They're all talking like it's coming up very soon. We've got 17 people left in the game.
I think a lot of folks.
That's pretty much a full season of U.S. Survivor. I think Survivor Australia, they did the merge with either 12 or 14 people.
If the jury is made up of 10, it's going to be at 13.
At 13, that would make sense.
So you got 3 people that are going to compete for the winnings for Soul
So
Survivor.
maybe all next week, yeah.
It all depends if it's 2 or 3. So that's going to either be 13 or 12.
Well, we're definitely getting there, and we entered.
so that's like 5 more people to go.
Yeah, 4 or 5, like next week, and then maybe an episode and a half of the following week. The way they upload 3 episodes a week, which we can't complain. We get so much Survivor. But then basically Nina's the deciding option. So going into Tribal, where was your head at? Who did you think was going home here?
You know what? I did not see that coming. I did not see Amy being the actual vote out, because I was like, it's easy. I already know. Look, we're gonna take out the weakest link. Easy vote. We already know what we're gonna do. We already see what happened. We're gonna do this, and I'm like, okay. Then I started seeing Amy's name just pop up. I was like, what happened? So I was surprised on that vote.
Were you? Okay.
Yeah, I was
See,
surprised.
I thought Amy did it in once she told Shay. I was like, I think this might be her going. Dave butters her up during tribal. He's like, look, Amy is very good at. She was the best at the challenge today. Like,
Yeah.
I think we should keep her. And he was trying. He even gives her a little wink, like a little wink, which I thought was
goodbye.
Yeah, yeah.
That was just-
Because he voted Mel, so he definitely wasn't in that plan or anything. Because the votes ended up being exactly what the plan was, which was 2 votes on Mel just in case she had an idol, the rest on Amy, and then that 1 vote on I can't remember where Amy threw. Oh, on Jordan.
Yeah,
So
again, Mel would have been the easy vote. She would have got Dave's vote, which she did. Look, she did get Dave's vote, but she didn't even vote for Mel. She voted for Jordan.
yeah, well, she wanted Jordan to go home.
So at the end of the day, that still puts Dave as a swing vote guy with no knowledge of what's going on. So he's no threat. But
Yep.
Amy, you went home way earlier than what I'd anticipated.
Yeah, wasn't someone's winner pick Amy? Didn't Will pick Amy to win?
Will, your pick.
Or
is
it
gone.
might have been Dylan. It was one of them, I think, picked Amy. But not a great week for the gals. We lose Sandra, Sophie, and Amy this week. Looking forward to next week. Hopefully this doesn't kick us off. I know we're running low on our time on this one, but if it does, we'll finish up. Looking forward to next week. Nina looks like she gets hurt. Are you concerned? Did you see the preview for next week's episode?
I'm not. Look, we all got hurt. We're all survivors. Again, you can. It looks worse in the editing. I think she gets hurt, but she still continues to play.
I don't think they would have shown her getting carried off
Yeah.
if all the injuries that end up being like evacuation status is they never show you who it is. They're just like, people surprised and shocked and stuff. The fact that they showed you this is Nina, I think she'll be fine.
Yeah, and here's the thing about it is you get hurt and you kind of assess it and they'll let you know, can you still play? But I think for me next week, that wasn't going to be the fireworks. I think KJ for me next week is going to be the fireworks.
I'm excited to see Khan. I want to see what Khan does
because
he's going to be because he's going to be mad. He looked really emotional when he sees that Amy was voted out, and he even says, what's the word he uses? Payback or whatever.
Yeah,
is a dish best served. Yeah, so I'm excited to see like his retribution and what he does for her.
I think the Khan and I think the KJ is going to be the focal point for next week, just because Khan is dealing with the vote out of his sister. KJ is dealing out with the vote of her sister. What if they both come together?
It's never that easy, Abraham. We know that.
It should be that easy to be like, hey, let's take out one of the loved ones that orchestrated the vote out of my loved one.
I need you to be a survivor coach for some of these people on this season. Be like, have you watched the show? That would be a genius thing, is for them to get together.
Because somebody's going to tell you when y'all do the first immunity challenge or the next episode, hey, who voted my sister out? And that's the time to throw somebody under the bus. Hey, well, Nina did it. So, or you say, you know what, we're going to pick somebody on the other tribe, we're going to vote it out. Because now you already have 2 votes.
Yeah.
That's the thing about it is, and you got 2 loved ones on the same tribe, so you got 4 votes.
Yeah.
So Sam would be my pick.
I'm super excited to see it. This season has been really good so far. I think it's been a really good season. There's been some questionable moments like, why have you done that? Why do you keep telling people about the idols? That's going to be my pet peeve this entire time. But it's been a good season so far, I think.
I mean, they've had all the drama of a Survivor season. So
yeah.
And all the physicality, all the challenges. It's something that makes you want to stay tuned and say, okay, what happens with Khan next week? What happens with KJ after that emotional vote out? But now you found out, Khan, your sister got voted out. So this is going to be interesting how that dynamic plays out next week. So we got 3 episodes next week to see.
Besides Croc, who do you think is playing a really good game? Who do you think's in a great position right now, game-wise?
Oh, Mark, hands down.
I agree. I don't think anyone. I think Mark is probably the only person that, if anybody watches the NBA at all, Charles Barkley, I guarantee he makes the merge.
Mark is playing a game with such balance. He's not overdoing anything. He gets in a challenge, he does his part. You know, I'll go back to that tug of war challenge. Croc did the tug of war challenge twice and lost twice.
Twice, 0-2, yep.
So, but Mark, hey, let me do my part and I'm gonna get out there. But you never hear Mark really saying, hey, let's vote this person out and that person. Somebody's coming to Mark saying, hey, you know, I think we should vote
he
this
talks
person.
to everybody.
Yeah,
everyone.
So Mark kind of sitting back where Sam on the other end wants to push it. And I think that's going to be the downfall. So I think it's going to be some excellent episodes next week. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, we just need to stop this whole Croc versus Mark thing because I think Mark's already proven multiple times that he will beat Croc at almost everything.
Croc's still my guy, so no. I'm looking
You're
forward to seeing you out there
standing up for him.
somebody. Yeah, Croc is still my guy.
Man. Well, thank you guys again for tuning in. Abraham, thanks again for joining me, man, on this early morning. Don't forget to follow us on all our social medias. Go subscribe to our YouTube page. Go hit us up on Instagram at Survivor Now Podcast and on Twitter at Survivor Now Pod. We've got a lot of great content going on out there. You have anything planned for the weekend, Abraham? Anything big?
No. I'm about to get back to work. Look,
Fun.
Get back to the day job. No, I'm gonna do some golfing this weekend. Let's see how the weather turns out and just kind of relax and enjoy myself.
Hopefully good for you. I'm actually a big race fan, so they've got the Daytona 500 on Sunday. I'm gonna check out. So I'll be drinking again on Sunday. Like I said, I never drink, and it's gonna be like my 4th day drinking this week.
Keep your dedication strong, guy.
Yeah, I'll try. Everybody have a wonderful day. Thanks for listening.